Hey everyone, it's JenzTEN96 and I'm Jennifer Beaumont-Whyte and this is day 33. I'm taking you along on my crazy journey of 1096 days of vlogging every single day while I show you how to live a life that lights you up. So today, day 33, I went to Tambor. Many of you might know that I live in Costa Rica, my país, which is near Santa Teresa. Santa Teresa is a really popular surf town, tourist town, and I'm just outside in the jungle. um, anyway, today I was invited to Tambor, which is about a 45-minute to an hour journey away from here. And the reason I was invited, excuse me, was some of you might know about the car crash I had the other day. And there was a wonderful lady who stopped and she, helped me. We couldn't speak any our different languages. I burst into tears on her shoulder, and she hung around until help came. And I got in touch with my taxi driver, who's now a really close friend, Andreas, and told him where I was and everything. And he spoke to this beautiful lady whose name is Andrea, and the two of them sort of coordinated what was going on, etc., and managed to get me to safety. Anyway, she had to go off to work, so she didn't actually see the final outcome of me getting the car onto the truck with the guys who came to rescue me, and she kept in touch with Andreas, the taxi driver, and she texted me to say, sorry, how am I? How's the car? And obviously, she's using a Google translator. And I said, that it's being repaired and I'm perfectly fine, no scratches or bumps. And she said that she's going to be in Tambor on from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because a group of her friends were celebrating a birthday or something like that. And they were going to be staying in a hotel in this beautiful area of Costa Rica. She lives near to where the crash happened, which is about a 4 hour drive away. Anyway, so she was going to be there. And she said that, would I like to come and meet her and to have a coffee or something? So I said yes. So we organized everything between Andreas and Andrea. We ended up in Tambor. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's just wonderful. It's like a bay. It's a bay with mountains on one side, and then obviously the coast on the other side, and it was lovely. So we had a really lovely time. Thank God, Andrea, the taxi driver, was there, so that we could communicate. And now we're going to be teaching each other how to speak each other's language. So it really got me thinking about how important it is to have support, communication, connection, community, and collaboration, all of that. Because if I hadn't been friendly with Andreas, the taxi driver, and use him for all sorts of different things since I've been back, and he's introduced me to lots of different information about driving, about how the culture is here, because he speaks fairly good English himself. And then the fact that I had him on the phone to be able to communicate with my new friend who's going to be showing me around, teaching me all sorts of different things. I'd be really stuck. I'd still be back at the crash site with no idea of how to, get help or whatever. Support, communication, connection, community is really, really important no matter where you go. And I thought about this years ago when we used to go on holiday and we used to take just our basic needs for the holiday, clothes and money and obviously your passport, your shoes and bits and pieces, and you locked into the hotel or locked into the resort or wherever you are, and you could survive on just those minimum things, yeah. But the biggest thing that made a difference is actually communicating with people in the local area. You make friends and they show you what to do and where to go. and you'd connect with other English people or whatever. But it's like if you're on your own and you're isolated, it feels like it's really sad. It's really like, where can you go and what can you do? It takes longer to get around. It really takes longer to make things happen. And without community and connection and support is amazing. It's really, you really have to sort of think about connecting with people, because obviously I'm living on my own, yeah, and sometimes it gets a bit like, oh, like it's too quiet and it's too silent. And so I put the radio on or the TV on to make it seem as if there's someone around. I think as human beings, we're actually built to make those connections. We are built to connect and communicate with each other because from what I know from my research and my teachings and learnings, that the heart resonance, the heart energy actually goes out to 6 foot, 6 foot around the human body. Yeah. So you're actually feeling out to make contact with somebody else, to make contact with other people and connect. And for a fact that if you don't even have to be communicating with someone, you can actually feel the vibe of the person. You actually can feel the energy of the other person. You can feel the vibe in a room. You can feel when there's somebody behind you or when someone's looking at you. So we are built to actually be able to connect and communicate and form that community, form a bond. The movie Castaway, where the Tom Hanks character had made personified the basketball, and called him Wilson, and he was talking to Wilson and arguing with Wilson, and when Wilson was lost, he was devastated. We need communication, we need connection. So, and this is actually proving itself with AI and ChatGTP, how some people are actually falling in love with the actual language system. Yeah, it's we need that. The only thing that's missing is touch from these devices and these language portals, that are supposed to be designed to help you. Yes, they do, but you have to be in control of them, otherwise they take over your mind. And I believe for my own self that you cannot be totally connected until you actually touch the other person, touch and feel and get the energy from another person, another being. Even my cat, I mean, I can feel and I touch and we communicate and, we can feel each other's vibes. But with ChatGTP, there's no touch. Unless you count touching the actual device itself, but there's no warmth in that. There's no warmth. And even when they're actually speaking back to you, ChatGTP and the AI and the robots, there is actually no warmth in their voice, no warmth in their the communication. Even when you watch anything that's AI on Instagram or YouTube, you can tell that the voice has no warmth. There's this essence that's missing. So maybe in the future, technology will advance so much that they'll be able to bring in this warmth, because they've done so much. I mean, it can easily be fooled if you're not aware and you're not sensory, because I've got like a sixth sense when it comes to things like that. I can really spot anything like that a mile off at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now because I've had a long day. I was up at 5 and it's late now. It's about 11 o'clock, and I'm trying to beat the clock to get this done before the next day. And we've had since I've been back, the power's been off a couple of times, so it's delayed me making the recording. Anyway, so I'll be back with you tomorrow for another Jen's 1096. And I thank you, I love you, and I'm saying good night. Nighty night.